For the past 2 years, the world has been focused on the physical battlefield in Ukraine. We watch the tanks, the drones, the artillery duels. The West has poured hundreds of billions of dollars into this conflict and has hit Russia with the most extensive economic sanctions in human history. We seize their foreign reserves. We cut them off from the SWIFT financial messaging system. We try to cripple their economy and bring them to their knees. And yet Russia has not collapsed. Their economy has stabilized. Their currency, the ruble, is strong. And they are still funding their war machine. How? How is this possible? The mainstream media will tell you it's because of oil sales to India and China. They will tell you it's because of loopholes in the sanctions. This is a dangerously simplistic explanation. It misses the real story. Because while we were focused on the tanks, Russia was preparing to unleash a different kind of weapon, a financial weapon. One so powerful, so asymmetric, that it could do more damage to the United States than their entire nuclear arsenal. It's a weapon they have been quietly building for over a decade, and all the evidence suggests they are about to deploy it. And no, it's not a nuke. It's something far more subtle and far more terrifying. To understand this weapon, you have to understand the true nature of modern warfare. It is not just fought with soldiers and bombs. It is fought with currencies, with commodities, and with code. The United States' greatest power is not its aircraft carriers. It is its control over the global financial system. The dollar is the ultimate weapon. And by sanctioning Russia, the US used that weapon in the most aggressive way possible. But in doing so, they made a fatal miscalculation. They showed their hand. They proved to the world that the dollar-based system was not a neutral platform for commerce, but a tool of American foreign policy. And they gave Russia and its allies like China the ultimate incentive to create an alternative. For years we've heard whispers about a new gold-backed BRICS currency, but that was always seen as a long-term project, fraught with political and technical challenges. What if there was an intermediate step, a weapon that could be deployed right now using existing technology, to strike at the very heart of the dollar's power, the commodity markets? This is that weapon. It's a project developed in secret by the Russian central bank and its top cybersecurity experts. Its internal codename, according to sources in the European intelligence community, is Project Troy. And it is a blockchain-based platform for the trading of all major commodities: oil, gas, wheat, nickel, aluminum, completely independent of the dollar, the London Metal Exchange and the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Think of it as a decentralized, sanction-proof commodity exchange for the entire non-Western world. Instead of pricing oil in dollars per barrel, or wheat in dollars per bushel, everything is priced in a new neutral unit of account, a digital token backed by a basket of the very commodities being traded on the platform. Let's call it the commodity token. Here's how it works. Russia, as a massive producer of oil, gas, grain, and metals, would contribute a portion of its physical production to a secure, audited reserve pool. Other BRICS nations, like Brazil and South Africa, would do the same. This pool of real, physical assets gives the commodity token intrinsic value. It's not backed by the debt of a bankrupt government. It's backed by the things the world actually needs to function. Any country could then join the Troy platform. A manufacturer in China who needs Russian aluminum could buy it directly on the platform using commodity tokens. A textile mill in India that needs Brazilian cotton could do the same. The trades are instantaneous, transparent on the blockchain, and completely bypass the dollar-based banking system. There are no sanctions to worry about, no threat of being cut off from SWIFT. It is a closed-loop, parallel financial system for the physical economy. This is not just a theory. The evidence suggests the platform is already built and is in its final testing phase. Look at the recent moves by Russia. They have completely re-engineered their economy to be sanction-proof. They have massively increased their gold reserves. And most tellingly, they have been conducting small-scale, bilateral commodity trades with China and India, using a combination of their own currencies and digital assets. They have been testing the plumbing for Project Troy in plain sight. Why is this so dangerous for the United States? Because it strikes at the Achilles heel of the American economy, the petrodollar, and the broader system of dollar-based commodity pricing. The value of the dollar is fundamentally linked to its use as the unit of account for global trade. If the world's major commodity producers start pricing their goods in a different unit, the global demand for dollars will evaporate overnight. This is an asymmetric weapon. Russia cannot compete with the US carrier for carrier or tank for tank, but they don't have to. With Project Troy, they can attack the foundation of American power without firing a single shot. They can trigger a collapse in the value of the dollar, which would unleash hyperinflation in the United States, crash our markets, and make it impossible for our government to fund its massive debt. It would be an economic heart attack. The timing is critical. Russia knows that the US is politically divided, financially overextended, and distracted by conflicts around the globe. They know that faith in the dollar is at an all-time low. They have a window of opportunity to strike. The unleashing of Project Troy would not be a quiet event. It would be a financial shockwave. Russia would likely announce it with the backing of the entire BRICS alliance, presenting it as a new, fair, and transparent system for global trade, an escape from the financial tyranny of the United States. It would be a brilliant move of geopolitical judo, using the force of the West's own sanctions against it, creating a system that is immune to the very weapons that were supposed to cripple them. While Washington is busy sending another $1 billion to Ukraine, the real war is being fought in cyberspace, on blockchains, and in the commodity vaults of Moscow and Beijing. Russia's secret weapon is not a missile, it's a ledger, and it's about to be unleashed. The financial world will never be the same. Let's delve deeper into the asymmetric nature of this weapon. The United States has spent the last 70 years building a global military empire, with bases in over 80 countries and a defense budget larger than the next 10 countries combined. This empire was designed to project power and protect the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency, but it was designed to fight a conventional war, a war of tanks, ships, and planes. It was not designed to fight a war of ledgers, tokens, and code. Project Troy is the financial equivalent of a stealth bomber. It is designed to be invisible to the existing financial radar. It operates on a decentralized network, with no central point of failure that can be sanctioned or shut down. The transactions are encrypted and settled in a new neutral asset that is outside the control of any single government. It is a system that is, by its very nature, immune to the weapons of the American financial arsenal. This is a profound strategic failure on the part of the West. We became so enamored with our own power, so confident in our ability to control the global financial system, that we failed to imagine that another country could simply build a new one. We assumed that the world would have no choice but to play our game by our rules. And now, Russia is about to flip the table over and start a new game, with a new set of rules that are designed to favor them. The economic consequences of this will be a shock to the system on a scale that has not been seen since the 1970s. The end of the petrodollar was the first blow. The launch of a fully fledged commodity-backed non-dollar trading system will be the knockout punch. The global demand for dollars will not just decline, it will collapse. The trillions of dollars held by foreign nations will become a hot potato, a rapidly depreciating asset that everyone is trying to get rid of at the same time. This will trigger a sovereign debt crisis in the United States. As the demand for dollars and U.S. Treasury bonds evaporates, interest rates will skyrocket. The U.S. government will find it impossible to roll over its massive $34 trillion debt. They will be forced to choose between defaulting on their debt, which would be a financial cataclysm, or ordering the Federal Reserve to print the money to pay it, which would trigger a hyperinflationary death spiral. This is the choice that Russia is forcing upon the United States. It is a choice between a heart attack and cancer, a sudden deflationary collapse, or a slow, agonizing death by 1,000 inflationary cuts. There is no third option. There is no easy way out. This is the end game of a 50-year experiment in fiat currency, and Russia has positioned itself to be the one who pulls the plug. This is not a war that can be won with military might. It is a war of ideas, a war between two competing financial systems, one based on debt, trust, and the promise of a government, the other based on physical assets, transparency, and the immutable laws of mathematics. In the end, the system that is based on reality will always triumph over the system that is based on illusion. While the politicians in Washington are bickering over the debt ceiling and the latest culture war distraction, The real war is being lost. It is being lost in the commodity vaults of the BRICS nations, on the blockchains of their new financial system, and in the minds of the world leaders who have lost all faith in America's ability to lead. Russia's secret weapon is not a secret because it is hidden. It is a secret because the West has refused to see it. This is the ultimate asymmetric warfare. The United States has built its empire on the foundation of the dollar. It has used its control over the global financial system to project power, to punish its enemies, and to fund its own profligacy. But it never imagined that its greatest strength could become its greatest vulnerability. It never imagined that an adversary could simply choose not to play the game. Project Troy is not just a new trading platform. It is a declaration of independence from the dollar-based system. It is a new game with new rules and a new set of winners and losers. And in this new game, the producers of real things, of oil, of gas, of wheat, of gold, will have the power. The producers of debt and financial complexity will be left with nothing. This is the great rebalancing that the world has been waiting for. And Russia is the one with the courage to trigger it. This is the new battlefield. A battlefield of blockchains, of commodity-backed tokens, of decentralized exchanges. A battlefield where the weapons are not missiles but mathematics. And on this battlefield, the United States is a lumbering 20th century giant about to be brought to its knees by a nimble 21st century adversary. Russia has not just built a new financial system, it has built a new paradigm of power. A paradigm where the producers of real things, not the printers of fake money, will determine the future of the global economy. The weapon is armed, the countdown has begun, and the world is about to find out that the most dangerous threats are the ones you never see coming.